like you're doing everything right, you're trying to eat healthier, you're exercising, you're working hard, and the scale still won't move, you're not alone. And you're probably not failing. One of the biggest mistakes I see is that believing if the scale isn't moving, nothing is happening. Weight is only one measurement. Progress is much bigger than a number. The goal isn't just to lose weight. Don't let the scale have the final word. All right, welcome back, everyone. Bienvenidos. This is episode 7. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Vanessa Carlson Fitness Podcast. I am Dr. Vanessa Carlson, physical therapist and founder of Vanessa Carlson Fitness, where we help busy women become stronger, healthier, and more confident without spending hours in the gym. I am really excited about today's topic because I have experienced this myself and helped other women over the years bust through this hurdle, if you will, of when you're doing everything right, but it doesn't feel like the scale is moving, it's not budging. So have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You're trying to eat healthier, you're exercising, you're working hard, and the scale still won't move? If that's you, I want you to hear this. You're not alone, and you're probably not failing. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest reasons women struggle to lose weight, even when they're trying incredibly hard. So let's dive in. I've seen women struggle with this, whether they're just starting their workouts and their routine and they're in their first few weeks, or maybe it's been a few months and maybe they hit a plateau, so to speak, which is not really a plateau, or maybe it's been a couple of years. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is that believing if the scale isn't moving, nothing is happening. Let me say that again. One of the biggest mistakes I see is that believing if the scale is not moving, nothing is happening. I remember having a client. So right now I do Zoom one-on-one personal training live, and I get to work with clients all over the country. But I remember when we owned our women's gyms, I had one particular client, and she was doing all the right things, right? She was exercising, she was making changes to her diet, she was being consistent, and there were so many victories, so many milestones. I mean, her posture was better. The way she would walk into the gym was better. She was more confident. She knew what she was doing. She was following the programs I was giving her. Her energy. She was going on missions trips. She was going on hikes without a problem. She could lift more, right? And then women half her age, she was getting off medications. Those are huge. But she was super, super, super frustrated that her weight was just going up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. And she was just getting so sick of the scale. And I totally, totally understand. And I remember hearing her heart. But can I tell you something? Same thing I told her. Weight is only one measurement. Your body is changing in ways the scale cannot always measure. The scale don't know what the heart is doing. The scale doesn't know that you can poop more. The scale doesn't know that you can sleep better. The scale doesn't know that your mood is better. It can't calculate that. Come on. Maybe like her, you're building muscle. Maybe you're building muscle. Maybe you're becoming stronger. Maybe your energy is improving. Maybe you're sleeping better. Maybe your clothes fit differently. You feel more confident. Guys, progress is much bigger than a number. I currently have a client who just recently told me, we've been working out together almost a year, that she is so happy she is no longer letting the scale dictate her victories. Here's the thing. Prior to this conversation, when we first started a couple months in, she was a bit discouraged. She's been exercising more consistently, making healthier food choices, showing up every week. But every time she stepped on the scale, at that point, she felt defeated. She thought, what's the point, right? And at that time, I asked her something besides the scale, right? What's different? And she stopped and she thought for a moment and she smiled. I'm sleeping through the night. I have more energy. I just took a trip out of the country. She just took a trip out of the country with her husband and her sister and her brother-in-law, and she was able to move better, right? Sleeping through the night, has more energy, just took a trip out of the country, and she felt so good moving and eating well. She was in control. She said, I'm in control. She lost 2 inches around her waist in starting, as well as in other places. She's not hurting as much. And she even said, my husband told me I seem happier. These things mattered. The scale simply hadn't caught up yet. Even for myself, I remember when I was challenging myself to really change my body, and I was training for my first physique show. I was doing the figure segment, and I remember, slimming down, building muscle, and I was like, man, the scale is, I had this number in my head that I felt like I need to hit, maybe just from conversation with other competitors or natural bodybuilders, and the scale wasn't budging. And I remember getting so upset. But once that switch went off in my head, that like, wait a second, I'm still building muscle. I'm still getting closer to my goals. I'm still building strength, and I'm doing way more than I could have ever done before, right? I needed to put that number to the side. That can't take into account of all the other victories and milestones that I was achieving. My body just had it, for whatever reason, the scale didn't catch up yet. What I was missing in my training was sleep. I needed to rest at that point in time so that my body can do what it needs to do, right? When you rest, that's when all the magic is happening. That's when fat is breaking down. That's when muscle is building. And so anyway, that was just a little bit about me in that moment where I had to put that number aside, put the scale aside, and just keep going, right? And be patient with my not just my body, with myself. We want things like yesterday. We live in such a fast-paced society, but the time is gonna pass anyway. Might as well continue to make those healthy habits, whether with eating, drinking water, getting rest, getting in strength training, because you're going to benefit from it. So can I encourage you? Please don't let one number determine your worth. Your success, your health, our health is so much bigger than your weight. I always tell everyone I train, yes, we're going to talk about muscle and fat, but exercise, this lifestyle helps with all the things you can't see that are running on its own, that need exercise to continue to run on their own and do so well, right? Exercise is going to help your heart, your digestive system, your hormones, your immune system, your lungs, your respiratory system, your bones. Another reason women struggle is because they're trying to be perfect. Perfection is so overrated. Monday, everything goes great. Tuesday, still doing well. Wednesday, someone brings donuts to work. Thursday, life gets a busy. Friday, I'll start over Monday. Sound familiar? I'll start over Monday. Sound familiar? The problem isn't the donut. The problem isn't the donut. Let me say that again. The problem isn't the donut. The problem is quitting. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. One healthy meal won't transform your life. One unhealthy meal won't ruin it either. It's what you do week after week that changes your health. Can I share something else? Many women are actually underestimating stress, poor sleep, busy schedules, hormonal changes, emotional eating. All of these things can affect your progress. Going back to the first example of that client that I worked out with in our gyms, in our women's gyms, we realized she was getting off of medications, and after discussing with her doctor, for her, right, intermittent fasting was just what she needed. That was the key to unlock for her to start dropping some weight. But imagine if she would have just quit and stopped. All of those gains of strength, endurance, her mobility, her posture, her confidence would have just set away. It would have just gone. The other example I gave of the women who my current client who was getting frustrated right when we first started because the scale really wasn't budging. It was going up and down, but she was losing inches, and she was able to enjoy a major trip outside the country. She was having some fluid retention. Again, I remember telling her, this is not fat, this is fluid. So we started changing things, getting more of a lymphatic workout. She started getting lymphatic massage. And now the weight is coming down. But my point is, if they would have just quit, all of those other gains, the things going inside their body, their posture, their sleeping better, their energy, their confidence, that would have gone down the tubes, right? Weight loss isn't just about calories. It's about your entire lifestyle. That's why quick fixes almost never last. One of my favorite moments as a coach is when someone stops obsessing over the scale and instead they start celebrating things like, I lifted heavier today. I walked farther. I played with my grandkids. Maybe instead of walking, they went for a jog or a run. I was able to play 18 holes of golf without any issues. I climbed the stairs without getting winded. Those victories lead to lasting transformation. We want to keep that positive feedback loop going, right? Eating well, sleeping, drinking in your water, getting in your exercising, enjoying your life, keeping that wheelhouse going. Here's something I want you to remember. The goal isn't just to lose weight or for that number on the scale to go down. The goal is to become healthier, build your strength, your posture, your ability to move and do the things you love with those you love. Because when you feel better, you do better, and everyone around you is blessed by it. Because if you only chase the number, you'll probably become discouraged, just like I became discouraged. And I love exercise, right? It comes very natural for me. It's my passion. It's what I love to do, and I love helping other people to do it. But anyone can easily become discouraged. It's not just you. So if you just chase, instead of that number, chase better health and healthy habits, the weight loss will often follow. It'll come into alignment. Trust me, I've seen it happen so many times over the years. I truly believe God gave us these bodies to care for, not to criticize, not to constantly compare. And I've seen it so many times with women who are older, comparing themselves to those in their 20s or in their teens. Guys, every decade our bodies change, right? Maybe you have children, maybe you have more than one child, maybe you went through something traumatic, maybe you're on a certain medication that's affecting things. Stop comparing, stay in your lane, and let's keep going. You gotta stay in your lane. And it's just one step at a time, one workout at a time, one meal at a time. Your body is a gift. Treat it with kindness. Feed it well. Give it food that makes your cells alive, not junk. Move it often. Rest it. Take care of it. Not because you hate it. Not because you're trying to compare yourself to whatever you're seeing on social media or your neighbor or your coworker, but because you're thankful for it. Gratitude changes everything. And that is my desire for you, to be grateful for this body, to have a mind shift that's clear out your lenses and have a new perspective. So my challenge for you this week, instead of asking, how much weight did I lose? Ask yourself instead, did I make a healthier choice today? Did I move my body? Did I drink enough water? Did I even sleep enough? Did I honor the body God gave me? If the answer is yes, you're moving in the right direction. Keep going, even if the scale hasn't caught up yet. Don't let the scale have the final word. Don't let the scale have the final word. Absolutely not. Let your habits speak louder. Let that focus, that determination, that motivation speak louder. And if you're like, man, I need that motivation or help, I would love to help you with that. Here's the thing, you're not alone, and you don't have to do this or figure it out by yourself. Healthy habits create healthy lives. I really hope that this helped you and encourages you and really changes your perspective. And if today's episode encouraged you, would you share it with someone who feels discouraged about their journey or about their weight? I think there are a lot of women who need to hear that they're not broken. They don't need another crash diet. They need a sustainable plan. And if you'd like help building that plan, I would love to walk alongside you. You can reach us at 207-467-5509 or visit us at vanessacarlson.com to learn more about our one-on-one live coaching, our live virtual training, and our supportive community. If you're enjoying these episodes and want more practical health tips every week, please take a second to subscribe. It really helps us to grow and reach more people. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate and I value you and your time. So until next time, keep moving, keep smiling, keep choosing small, healthy habits, because lasting transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens one faithful choice at a time. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next episode, episode 8, where we'll talk about that stubborn belly fat that women experience at the age of 40 and above. All right, guys, stay blessed. Mwah. Ciao for now.